Can I have your attention, please? Your child received a paper that they were supposed to bring with them this evening when they did the visit today, but it's okay if they didn't bring it. We have some, we're making more, but make sure you have one of these. So if you don't have one, raise your hand and we'll come around and give you one. You can put your hands down. We're waiting on more copies. When we get them, we'll let you know.
All right, good afternoon, evening. We still got a couple people moving in, so we're going to go ahead and get started tonight. And will you please stand as we recognize Mr. and Mrs. Carr and our orchestra as they play the national anthem tonight. And will you please stay standing as we sing our alma mater? Now you may be seated. Thank you to Ms. Carr, members of our orchestra, Ms. Walker, and our choir for the national anthem and our alma mater. You can go ahead and, as you're coming in, grab a seat. We still have seats. We're kind of spread out a little bit. Okay, thank you for coming tonight. We really appreciate it. We know it's been a crazy week, really, of only being back in school for a couple of days. And so we very much appreciate you coming in. My name is Michael Harp. I'm the high school principal. And this evening, so all day today really has been 8th grade, but really class of 2028 day. And so the middle school students came in 8th grade from both middle schools. They toured the high school. They kind of got the same talk that you're about to get this morning. But our goal today is to introduce ourselves to you, if we haven't done that yet, give you a little bit of some of our traditions. We had the band, so thank you to Mr. Kane. The band, our cheer and palm out front, and then more of our fine arts out here today. Just to give you a little bit look of what school looks like, we are starting enrollment today. Today's not the last day of enrollment. This is just the beginning of it. And our goal today is to give you as much information as we can. You go home as a family, talk about your options, your choices. We will go back to the middle schools. We will actually go to the middle schools next week. And if anyone still has any questions or things like that, we'd be happy to help you answer those and then lock up enrollment a week from Friday. And if you don't hear really anything else today, one thing I want to make sure that you understand is that, this is a 4-year journey. We want to kind of give you a broad overlook of what that looks like. And then we are definitely here for you the next 4 years to make sure that we get you to May 2028. And yes, that kind of seems like a far ways away, but it is not. And so we don't go away. We're here to help you. And we unfortunately have to start this process early. We have next year we're predicting the potential to have over 1,800 students at the high school next year. As you can imagine, as we try to figure staffing and classroom sizes and all that sort of stuff, it takes us a while to do that. And so we have to start that planning right now. So as I mentioned, here's a list of the administrators, counselors. I'm going to give you a couple of names to faces that are walking around. We have Miss Goodnight right over here and Miss Majette. They are our 9th and 10th grade counselors that will really be your first point of contact as you start coming into the high school. They will be available tonight as well as our other counselors, but they definitely, as the next 6 months, especially in July and August when it's hot and we kind of forget that today was cold and yucky, that they will be your point of contact when we start over the summer. The other two people I want to make sure that you have a face to is Miss Lumley and Mr. Harold. They're staying right back there. They're our 9th and 10th assistant principals. And so they office out of the Freshman Academy over here off Shawnee. Same thing. If you need something, can't get a hold of these two, they're your next 2 point of contact. And then, of course, myself as well. And I office off of Hillcrest, and you can give us a call, email, anytime. Other people I want to recognize, just to have a face, other counselors, is Mr. Wolf, and he's going to go over some more of the details here in a minute. And then we have Miss Bird, and we have Miss Smith, and someone else was moving around. There's Miss Brown, and then Mr. Tucker is already in the commons getting things set up. I think that's it. And then we had 2 other assistant principals. Miss Beckley is helping them outside, and then Mr. Kuntz is at senior swim. And so that's our administrative counselor team. Want to definitely make sure that you have a name and face with that. So again, what I mentioned earlier is that our goal today is to start showing you all the different paths. You'll have a QR code on the page that you have today. It's also on our website of our course guide. And so the course guide that we have posted is a lot of the different paths that you have and what will be held. We know not all students will go to college, as they shouldn't. And we know that people will go into military, into the careers. And you've probably noticed, just looking at a couple of press things that we've done over the last year, but really in the last month, is that we are very proud of our academics. We're very proud of the career college stuff that we have, but we are also definitely putting an investment in careers. We will start an intro to construction class next year. And so, yes, we have Tri-County Tech. Yes, that starts as early as sophomore or junior year, but the reality is that Tri-County Tech cannot hold all of our students. And so we want to make sure that we are having as many opportunities for all of our students moving forward. And so that's exactly, as you kind of start this process today, that's what we want you to start thinking about. Do you have to have this answer tonight? No. Do you have to have this answer tonight in a couple weeks? No. But hopefully these questions of where you kind of want to start going when you leave here in 4 years, hopefully you are able to see those pathways, and we are able to kind of start narrowing down, especially next year. That's really the goal of freshman year, is to get you introduced to as much as possible. And then as you start figuring out these different areas, you don't even have to have this stuff figured out of where, if you want to go to college, what do you want to do at Tri-County, but just kind of start getting in those pathways. That is our goal. Okay, I'm going to let Mr. Wolf kind of talk about what you need to graduate.
Oh, thank you, sir. Before we start, though, do y'all know how shapes get to school? They take the rhombus. All right, yeah. My 7-year-old. All right, so we've got to have 23 units to I had to drop a joke because talking in front of parents, I just get nervous. I don't know how Mr. Harp does it. Talking in front of kids, I can do it, but talking in front of parents, I'm starting to sweat. Okay, 23 units of credit to graduate. Each time we take a class, every single semester is going to give you half a credit, so a full year in a class is going to give you 1 full credit. So when we start talking about these classes, that's how we'll think about units of credit. So we'll have 23 units, and we have to take an English class each and every year, so we'll have 4 English classes. We're going to have 3 years of math in grades 9 through 12. So if you have a child that took Algebra 1 honors, that is going to count as what's called the additional core class towards your graduation plan, but that does not actually count towards one of the 3 years of math. They're still going to have 3 years of math. So they can take geometry, algebra 2, then pre-cal or something like that, or college algebra later on down the road. We'll have 3 years of science, but 4 is better. We'll have a history class each year. So next year, every student will take Oklahoma history. It's only a half a semester. So that one's not going to be a full semester. And then your senior year government will only be a half a semester as well. We're going to have world language or computer technology, and that's when we start getting into some choices. We'll have 2 years of that. And then we get to start having a bunch of electives. There will be some side things that we have to do to graduate that will not actually be classes, such as personal financial literacy, CPR, fine arts, or your fine arts credit, which will be a class, your naturalization test, and then we'll have some career planning that we do called ICAP. Mr. Harp kind of talked about the course guide, but if you have that QR code on your paper, if that QR code ever doesn't work, you can get to it from the BHS website. You'll see course guide at the top there. You can click on that link. It'll take you to all the courses. From there, you'll see pathways, okay? And Mr. Harp kind of talked about the pathways, and the pathways that we choose right now are going to set us up for the next 4 years. Okay, so if I don't start ag right now as a freshman, we don't get to hop in as juniors and seniors, okay? So we have a new ag building coming in. It's awesome. If you want to hop in that program, we want to have you. It's awesome, but we got to start as a freshman. Okay, so we have an aviation program that you can get a pilot's license at the end of your senior year, but you got to start as a freshman. Okay, so some of these course guides, when you're going through and looking at the flow chart, those will be some important things that you'll want to see. Do I have to start as a ninth grader to get into these programs, okay? It also shows from the traditional and AP route, and Mr. Harp will come up and talk about AP in a little bit, but the AP route will have honors classes and traditional. To take AP, we'll do honors classes next year. Okay, on your course guide, this is what a class will look like. So you have the class name on the top left. You'll have how many, is it a full year? And if it is, it'll say 1.0 credits. If it's a half year, it'll say 0.5. And then on the right, it'll say 9. If it says grade 9, your student can take it. And then it'll say what the course the description of the course. If you see a course that says maybe grade 11, you'll be like, ooh, I really like this course. So what's the pathway to get there? And you'll kind of map it out. So we want to take some time looking at the course guide so we can make great decisions. We want to get in the class that we want and find interests that get into our advantage. Okay, selecting our courses, okay, and this is where it starts getting into, you're going to be able to select courses on PowerSchool. We, as counselors, will go up and enroll the classes with the students that don't do this. We're going to be, actually, the counselors will be out in the hospitality room right after this meeting. If anyone wants to come and enroll, we can enroll you right now. After you go and look at all of the booths and see, ooh, I already know what I want to take. And if you don't have, or if you have questions and just want to know some things, we can help you there. But some things that you're going to want to know, that you will want to fill in, is are you going to be full-time in person? Are you going to be a blended student, which means that you take some classes virtually and some classes in person? Or are you going to be a full-time virtual student? You'll have all the core classes will be sorted, and then we'll have our electives sorted as well. So here's what we've got as a freshman, and if you got one of those papers, it should be sorted for you just like this. You'll see English 1. You can choose either English 1 or English 1 honors. If you have English 1 honors, there's a summer reading assignment. It is a little different. Your teacher has that paper for you, but there is a summer assignment for you, okay? Algebra 1 is for the students that took pre-algebra. Honors geometry if you were in Algebra 1 this year, and Algebra 2 honors if you were taking a double math, okay? Third, for your science, we have traditionals, physical science, and we have honors biology. If you do the honors biology, you must have been in Algebra 1 this year. Oklahoma history, like I said, is 1 semester. Everyone takes it. And then the other half will be an elective, which we can do either fine arts. We'll try to knock out that fine arts if we can. Fifth will be your world language or technology. We have to have 2 years of a foreign language or technology, and I'll kind of show you the options that we have there. Sixth will be your fine arts, and then seventh will be an elective if you're an athlete or your ag, things like that. All right. Okay. World language and computers. We have 2 years. We have to have 2 years of a foreign language or computer technology. And the reason we try to knock these out now is because your junior and senior year, we have all kinds of opportunities that open up for you. And if we haven't taken care of your fine arts, if we haven't taken care of your world language and computers, you restrict yourself and you're not able to go to Tri-County Tech. You're not able to go and do an internship. And so we don't want to limit you. So we try to knock out these early if we can. We also want to get you plugged in. If you like doing a foreign language, you can stay in for all 4 years. So we have Spanish, French, and Osage. If you do a foreign language, you do have to stay in the same foreign language for both years. Okay? If any parents, your student did Spanish 1 this year? Okay. Spanish 1 is not like the math. Spanish 1, you can do Spanish 2, and then that would count as both years of your Spanish. Technology classes, we have our STEM program, we have computer science, we have our aviation, we have engineering, or we can do computer applications. Okay, so that's kind of the route you can take for the world language or computers. Fine arts, we have band, orchestra, choir, art, drama, theater, competitive speech and debate. If you join the ag program, if you stay in it your third year, you'll actually get your speech credit because you take Intro to Ag Communications. And we have speech, which is 1 semester you can take as well. There are also, if you are not a fine art person, I was not a fine art person, I was not an artsy person. We have these 1 semester courses. You can knock out your fine art requirement. We also have a new course called Intro to Visual Art as well. Art appreciation, music appreciation, speech. Okay? You can take these courses in 1 semester and fulfill your fine art requirement, unless you are Oklahoma Promise. Oklahoma Promise says that if you are your household income is less than $65,000, then your student can go to college tuition free. It's pretty exciting, as long as you fill out the application prior to the end of your junior year. So right now, if you want your child to go to college for free, you can go home, get on Oklahoma Promise, and sign up right now, and your child can go to college tuition free if your family makes $65,000 less. If you have any questions about that, let me know. One of the caveats is you do have to have a year of fine arts. So. But yeah. We'll try to match, like I said, your electives with your career goals. So we have that new construction class as well that we can get you plugged in. We have journalism programs, ag, business. So all kinds of things that you're going to see out front. All right. We're not doing alternates this year. Mr. Harp is going to come up and talk about a little bit about AP.
And they reminded me to remind you, for me to tell you, this is a lot of information. We will post this on our website by tomorrow. And so our broadcasting students are actually recording this tonight. We'll post the slideshow for you later. So when you're like, what are they talking about? Or you can't remember, you'll be able to go back. So I quickly want to talk about AP. There's always a little bit of misunderstanding maybe with AP, or it can feel overwhelming a little bit as far as I'm not an honor student, or I'm not going to go to college, but then things change. What we want you to know is that AP can be for anyone. The statistic that if one person, like if you complete a course in AP, you are more likely to finish college, not even go to college, but finish college. And we definitely have a wide range of AP courses. It's just not our math and science. We have AP psychology. We now have AP environmental science is our first year for that. That is definitely for any student that can get them in, have an experience of this. What I want to show you, and that's what that talks about. And so this is a chart that we publicized this summer. If you go back and look at 2019, it's a little hard to see on this screen, but we had below 200 students of total AP students. Look at 2023, and we had just under 400 students that took it. In the year of, and obviously 2020 was a weird year, and so 2021, that dipped a little bit. And what we want to show here is that our number of exams almost reached 600. So that's the amount of students that not only are in one course, but took multiple tests. Bartlesville Public Schools made the commitment, and thanks to our school board a couple of years ago, that they are paying for exams. and so that is no longer a cost to our parents. And with that increase, we saw an increase of students that got a 3 or higher on the test. And what that means is we had over 200 students that actually received college credit while they were here. We have dual enrollment. And so dual enrollment is when we actually offer RSU classes on our campus. And so Ms. Johnson is an English teacher here. She is also teaches Comp 1, Comp 2, and speech through RSU. And what dual enrollment is that you are dually enrolled as a Bartlesville High School student and a college student. And there's certain requirements. It's definitely in there. I don't want to read that off to you tonight, but that's definitely for junior, senior year that you can look at. That's another way to do it. There is a cost to this. This is a free. And I definitely don't want to push you either way. It's definitely a family decision. And there's definitely pros and cons to both. And they are both equally beneficial. It just depends. And I can really see, I think even by the time you all are seniors, I think dual enrollment will have changed even then. It's a very fast moving thing right now of what dual enrollment and a lot of more opportunities. We're not even ready to publicize yet. I think we'll have more coming up in the next couple of months. And so it's just an exciting time for students to not only leave here with a high school diploma, but also earn several things of college credit as well. And so, so here's kind of the take-homes. I'm going to wrap this up. Is that today you do have your enrollment card that we talked about. If you do not have them, they have made extra copies for you back here. And this is just a few things of when we will be back. So we will be at Central next week. The week after that, the end of next week, we will be at Madison. And incoming freshman enrollment does close after that time. What you can do tonight, so what's about to happen tonight is we have booths set up in the commons. We'll show you that here in a little bit. You can go out that way. If you have looked at it a little bit, or you've had older students go through and you're like, no, we know what we're going to do. We are ready to enroll. We're ready to talk to someone. Our counselors will be in the hospitality room just right across here. That's adjacent to the gym right here. And you can sit down, you can talk with them, and you can get this done tonight if that's what you want to do. We also, if you've been here a while, they want me to remind you, you might have heard of the thing called Blue Book, Course Guide. They're the same thing. We just changed the name a little bit. And let's see. Okay, we are definitely here to answer your questions. And that's really the main point, again, to talk about tonight, that we want to make sure that we are introducing. We know it's a lot of information, but we want to get it all to you at once, allow you to have the opportunity to give you over a week to look at it, and be here tonight. We'll be at your kids' school next week. If you still want to come meet with us, you have questions, you can email us, you can come and talk to us. We definitely don't want this to be a one-and-done type situation. We want to give you plenty of time, plenty of options to make sure that you have all the information that you need before you start making that decision. When I'm getting ready to let you leave here right now, if you have a student athlete, there's two things I want to talk about that real quick as I'm hitting the buttons. Is that Miss Brown is about to go over NCAA requirements. You're probably like, gosh, there's a lot of requirements. Yeah, there are a lot of requirements to get a high school diploma. Another layer to that is if you think you might play any division of sports in college, we ask that you stay. We're going to quickly just add another layer of complexity. Not too complex, but Miss Brown is going to go over that a little bit because transcripts and certain things matter. And we promise we'll be quick. So just hang tight real quick. She's going to go over that. And also, we usually get lots of questions in August, and we want to try to say it right now, so hopefully we can not have as much confusion going into freshman year, and this pertains to athletics. We're hoping there won't be as much confusion because we have it in middle school, but we have strength and conditioning, so we have the workouts, and then we have the athletic portion of that. That's why 2 years ago we moved to a 7-hour day so that we could try to loosen up a student's schedule with different things that they want to be in. But if that is what you want to do, if you want your student to be in In athletics, the coach wants them to be in strength and conditioning. You want to put that now. It is easier for us to work their schedule around what they want to be in with it locked in now instead of trying to make that change in August, if that makes sense. It is harder for us to go back in August and go, oops, we should have. In other words, if you're not sure, you're like, we're in athletics right now, not 100% sure we'll be in fall, go ahead and do it now. It's easier for us to take you out of that and put an elective in than to try to take that out and put that in, if that makes sense. So hopefully that makes sense. Yeah, confusing. So again, I messed that up. Thank you very much for coming tonight. We appreciate it. Wanted to keep it to 30 minutes in here. We almost did that. If you want to hear the NCAA, stay put. If you want to meet with a counselor, they're across the hall. And everyone else, we have people from AP teachers to sports to fine arts to all of our electives. They're in the comments ready to meet you and answer your questions. Thank you for coming.